Have you ever wondered why oil and water don't mix? Well, today we're going to delve into a fascinating experiment that explores this very phenomenon. This is a simple, yet powerful demonstration of a concept in chemistry known as polarity. The first step is to gather our materials. We need 2 transparent containers, a bottle of water, some cooking oil, and a bottle of food coloring. The transparency of the containers allows us to observe the experiment clearly. Pour water into one of the containers until it's about half full. Next, add a few drops of food coloring. The color doesn't matter. It's just to help us see the separation more clearly. Stir it around until the color evenly disperses. Now pour an equal amount of cooking oil into the other container. You'll notice that the oil and water are separate layers, with the water at the bottom and the oil floating on top. That's because water and oil have different densities, with water being denser than oil. Now pour the colored water into the container with the oil. What do you see? The water sinks to the bottom and the oil rises to the top, right? That's because of their different densities. But why don't they mix? That's where polarity comes in. Water molecules are polar, meaning they have a positive charge on one end and a negative charge on the other. On the other hand, oil molecules are nonpolar, meaning their charges are evenly distributed. Because of this, polar and nonpolar substances tend not to mix. This principle is known as like dissolves like. Polar substances dissolve other polar substances, and nonpolar substances dissolve other nonpolar substances, but polar and nonpolar substances do not mix. So, to summarize, the main points of this experiment are: 1. Oil and water have different densities, which is why oil floats on top of water. 1. The concept of polarity explains why oil and water do not mix. Water is a polar substance and oil is a nonpolar substance. 1. The principle like dissolves like tells us that polar substances dissolve other polar substances and nonpolar substances dissolve other nonpolar substances, but polar and nonpolar substances do not mix. This experiment beautifully demonstrates these principles. And the best part is, you can try it right at home. So the next time you see oil and water refusing to mix, you'll understand exactly why that is. It's all about polarity and density, 2 fundamental concepts in chemistry. Now, isn't that fascinating?